So recently I got a 19.33 FMC PB Mo3, and I think it'd just be great to get into it and show you guys the recons. So this is the first solve. The scrambles will be in the description, and recons as well, like text recons. On this first scramble, I got a 21, and the EO I used, which is on green axis, well, green front. Bad edges are here, or you can look at good edges if you do that. I did a D to preserve the 4 bad edges on the back. So this edge gets pushed out and replaced by this bad edge, and this bad edge goes here. So there's 4 on the back, then 3 on the front. So D and then B to orient the ones on the back. Now the bad edges are here, so I can just do L prime, U prime, F. Looking here, it's 3C4E, not the best, but if you just do a R move, you get to RZP, 4C4E RZP. And it doesn't look too good here or normal. But I noticed that these 2 corners line up with this E layer edge, and then this corner lines up with that E layer edge, which means on the other side of the scramble, this will have like many blocks, and so I switched. And as you can see, there are many blocks, like a lot of blocks here actually. And so I solved this DR, actually not optimally, which I probably should have found the other way to do it, but the way I solved it was U prime D prime. So it lines up this big bar with the 2 E layer edges, and then I do like this, R2 instead of L2, and then solve it like this. Now, that's a 13 move DR, which usually isn't preferable at all, but it's 1 quarter turn, and the corners, like these pieces, are really nice. So I just do D2, L2, F2, D, and of course we're just left with a 4 move finish, which is so stupid. So yeah, that's a 8 move DR finish. On the second scramble, I got a 19, and I started on the inverse scramble. So here, on green front, again, the bad edges are here, and optimally you can solve with F2, R2, B, but I inserted in R prime, which doesn't affect any of the bad edges, and then I did the F2, R2, B, and that gave me EON 4, and right off the bat, doesn't look like there's much good off like either RCP axis. You can do like 1 move into RCP, but here I saw that you can I guess do DR prime to make it 4C 4E, and also this corner would connect to this edge, and then it just looked pretty blocky in general. So I tried it out, so I just did that, and I was like, oh, it's 3 more moves to DR. So that's a 9 move DR, kind of lucky honestly. And didn't find anything good on inverse, but on normal, I should mention it's 2C3 4E, so it's just these 2 corners, and then there are 4 edges here, but it's like in the 6E state, so you have to look at the solved pieces. So from here, did D2 L2 to set up to this shape, which is kind of nice. D prime, I can already see the big, like the huge blocks forming. And then here it's reduced to 4B to 4E, so I did F2 to L2 to set up to the trigger, and then, yeah, what'd you know? Boom, solved. Yes, that's a 9 move DR and 10 move finish, so kind of lucky. All of these also lucky. Alright, this is the last scramble. I got an 18 on it, and honestly, this is probably one of the luckiest and weirdest looking scramble I've ever gotten. Firstly, just looking at it, half the cube is already in HDR, which is really weird. And I used green front EO and then UDDR again, which is kind of weird. So for the EO, I did L2 to put these 3 edges together, and DR to, I guess, move the bad edge around, and then F prime So to make these blocks, and yeah, this DR is really quite lucky because it's just D, R2, U prime, R prime, 4 more moves to DR. That gives an 8 move DR, and it's 2C3 2E, literally one of the best subsets. And in this case, you can do F2 to make this block, like this 2x2 block here, and that's like the trigger you would normally use for DR, well, just 2C3 2E. And in this case, doing it regularly didn't give me anything good. So I did an U2 to basically stack these two on top of each other. So I can do an L2 that doesn't really disturb any of the bad pieces. Now I can do the trigger just normally. So D, F2, D, F2, D. And then, yeah, super blocky HTR finish. It's just L2, U2 to E slice. You can also technically do that, and it's just like 6 moves and it can slice cancel, but I decided to just insert some wide moves to just check if it's +0. Should mention that the E slice was in 18 moves. So here I did U2, well, wide into U2, L2, D, first D is normal, F2, wide D, F2, wide D, L2, U2. So that added 0 moves and gave me an 18. This mean was honestly some of the weirdest solutions I've gotten in a while. I mean, this one's pretty normal, it's just really lucky. But like the 21 and the 19 are both kind of weird. Pretty happy about it. Could control the nerves when actually like checking through the RCPs. On the 18 there was way too many. And honestly, this is gonna stand for a really long time, probably. Not expecting to get 19 flat or 1867 anytime soon. Unless I get even more lucky, I guess. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Just, yeah, concludes all my thoughts. And hopefully I pull something like this off at Oceanics.